It was a risk worth taking, especially now that there was extra funding for students who studied science. Ailsa abandoned the email mid-sentence and invited Matt to sit on the small sofa in the corner of the room by the radiator. The heating was about to go off as part of a new money-saving scheme that had been disguised as an example of the school's commitment to environmental issues, she explained. But don't tell anyone. It might be more convenient to stay near the computer, Matt suggested, walking purposefully towards her desk. I need to use it. Ailsa stood up to make way for him. There was an awkward moment as they repositioned themselves. He removed his jacket and sat down on her chair in front of the computer screen. She noticed shadows of sweat under his armpits. He undid his cuffs, carefully rolled up his sleeves, and clicked each knuckle once, making Ailsa wince. Sorry, forgot how you hate that, he said, looking up at her with a smile so quick it had gone before it reached his eyes. It's like fingernails on a blackboard, she said, and then instantly regretted betraying her age to someone who had only ever known whiteboards. Matt pulled the chair towards the computer screen, and it screeched across the floor. Despite being someone who liked to melt into the background, everything he did was very loud. His fingers moved deftly across the keyboard, so quickly that she couldn't see what he had typed into the Google bar. Ailsa watched the screen, intrigued to know what could be so important that he had to interrupt his lesson to show her. The afternoon was always the worst time to deal with a crisis. By then, the optimism had been sucked out of the school day, and she was filled with a wired energy fueled by too much caffeine and too many unfinished to-do lists. She impatiently smoothed down her skirt, trying to iron out the wrinkles and persuade it back towards her knees. You have to be careful what image you are projecting, she had told her 17-year-old daughter recently, when she appeared in the sitting room wearing a mini-dress so short that when she bent over, you could see her knickers. Ailsa understood the mysterious equation whereby teenagers responded to exhortations to be responsible with a similar urge towards independence, but was singularly unable to apply the science to her own children. It's a fancy dress party? Dress code Professor Green meets A Midsummer Night's Dream? I can't exactly wear a burqa, her daughter had laughed. The trouble with you, Mum, is you're obsessed with what people think of you. It was true, Ailsa thought. She often wondered how others might see her, especially her team of teachers, but also people whose opinion she didn't need to worry about, like the locum doctor who had missed her mother's heart problem, or her new age next-door neighbours. Someone in my A-level set gave the game away. I wasn't sure whether you already knew, said Matt. He paused and held his head in his hands, staring down at the desk. He was behaving more like a drama teacher than a biology one. Christ, I feel like the messenger in Julius Caesar, said Matt, his sweaty palm hovering near the screen. Antony and Cleopatra, Ailsa corrected him, instantly regretting her fastidiousness. Once an English teacher, always an English teacher. She wondered how he really saw her. A hard-working and confident superior whose innovative schemes for incentivizing students had been adopted as policy by the Department of Education. A stickler for detail with an annoying radar for split infinitives in internal emails. Or a 42-year-old woman with a tendency to wear too much lipstick who didn't notice when flecks peeled from her lips and stuck to her teeth. Ailsa made a quick sweep of her front teeth with her tongue. Maybe someone past youth, but still worthy of sexual fantasy? A MILF, perhaps? When her eldest son, Luke, had finally explained what the term meant last week, she couldn't work out whether it had given middle-aged women a new lease of life or added a new layer of pressure. It struck her that this was a good example of cognitive dissonance, the ability to hold contradictory thoughts about the same subject. She had covered this in that morning's assembly.